Hi everybody, welcome back to Film Friday. I hope you're all doing very well. Today we're actually going to be discussing what films are coming out in November, and I'm very excited about this. So today, as you are watching this, it's the 25th of October. So you've got time to sort of put your little plans in the diary for your cinema trips and all that stuff. So I've chosen 16 films to talk about, and some of them are cinema releases, some of them are streaming. Um, Obviously, just because I say it's out in the cinema doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be out in your local cinema. Unfortunately, there's one film on here. I'm really sad. I don't think I'm going to get to watch it in the cinema, but I've been keeping an eye out on this film for ages, so I'm really sad about that. But anyway, I will dive straight in, and hopefully I've got all my facts right because it seems to be a little bit contradictory in places. So I'll tell you the dates that I think they're coming out, but you might want to fact check it with your local cinema and stuff like that. But from what I gather, these are relatively correct dates. So 1st of November, we have got 4 films coming out. We have got Anora, Heretic, Small Things Like These, and Juror Number 2. Now let's tell you a little bit about what these films are. So Anora, it's directed by Sean Baker, who is a director I very much enjoy. He is behind The Florida Project, Tangerine, Red Rocket. Very, very talented director. So I'm really excited to see this in cinemas because I haven't seen any of his work in cinemas before. Honora is a young sex worker from Brooklyn who gets her chance at a Cinderella story when she meets and impulsively marries the son of an oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as the parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled. So the trailer for this looks so good. I am so excited for this one. It's definitely up there with like one of the ones I'm most excited for in November. And yeah, really gassed for it. I'm glad it's coming out very soon. The next film is Heretic, which again, the minute I saw this trailer drop, I was like, what is this? I'm buzzing for this. So I mean, I was partly buzzing for it because I immediately saw it was A24 and I was like, oh, A24, lovely jubbly. And then I saw that it was starring Hugh Grant and in a different role to what he often takes. It's giving creepy, and yeah, I'm very excited for it. Let me just see who it was directed by. Directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. I think they often work together. Um, but yeah. Um, so the plot of Heretic. 2 missionaries are forced to prove their faith when they knock on the wrong door and are greeted by a diabolical Mr. Reed, becoming ensnared in his deadly game of cat and mouse. I don't think I've ever seen Hugh Grant take on a role like this, like I said, and I'm absolutely so more than ready to see this. Every time that the trailer appears, I am like, I need to see this now. So yeah, I'm very excited for that to come out. Next is Small Things Like These, which I've started to get the trailer for a couple of weeks ago and was very intrigued by it because I hadn't actually heard of it. So the synopsis is: while working as a coal merchant to support his family, Bill Furlong discovers disturbing secrets kept by the local convent and uncovers truths of his own, forcing him to confront his past and the complicit silence of a small Irish town controlled by the Catholic Church. The film stars Cillian Murphy, and the trailer for this is so beautifully understated. And while I'm very much looking forward to seeing this, I actually have no idea what to really expect, which makes it even more exciting. But yeah, I just feel like this one came out of nowhere because I often like research what films are coming out throughout the whole year, and I hadn't seen this one appear. So yeah, very intrigued by this one. And of course, it's Cillian Murphy, so you know it's going to be good just from that respect. And it also stars Emily Mortimer, I believe. Oh no, Emily Watson. I do apologise, not Emily Mortimer. Oh, it's only 98 minutes. That's a shorty, isn't it? Okay, the last film coming out on the 1st is Juror Number 2, and this is the one that I doesn't look like it's going to have a particularly wide release. I will endeavour to seek it out and watch it somewhere, but that's not always possible. But the synopsis of Juror Number 2 is: while serving as a juror in a high-profile murder trial, family man Justin Kemp finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma, one he could use to sway the jury verdict and potentially convict or free the accused killer. Like I said, I'm not sure this is going to have a wide cinema release. I haven't even seen a trailer for it at the cinema, so I will have to hunt it down to watch. But the director and the cast have me very excited for this film. So it's directed by Clint Eastwood and it stars Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette, J.K. Simmons, and more. So it sounds like it's going to be very, very good. And I love anything courtroom. I love courtroom films, courtroom TV stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited. Okay, the next 3 films are coming out on the 8th of November, and it's Paddington in Peru, Red One, and Bird. Next is Paddington in Peru. Everyone's favourite bear is back. Paddington travels to Peru to visit his beloved Aunt Lucy, who now resides at the home for retired bears. With the Brown family in tow, a thrilling adventure ensues when a mystery plunges them into an unexpected journey through the Amazon rainforest and up to the mountain peaks of Peru. It looks as though all the core cast are back as well, and some other kind of familiar British actors too. So I'm really looking forward to this. The Paddington films are just so wholesome, and I think you'd struggle to find anyone that doesn't like the Paddington films. And if you do find someone that doesn't like them, don't trust them. Don't trust them at all. I actually watched the Paddington films in lockdown for the first time and just had such a lovely time with them. So yeah, very excited for that one. So Bird is actually a movie release. So movie, I think it's just going straight to the app. I don't think it's having a cinema release. I think I could be wrong. It might show at a couple of indie cinemas potentially. But I'm really excited by this because it's directed by Andrea Bird.
So it's directed by Andrea Arnold, not Andrea Bird. I think you can see where I stumbled for that one. Ignore me.
Who directed Fish Tank, which is one of my favourite films. So yeah, really excited. And it stars Barry Keoghan, and it's about 12-year-old Bailey who lives with her single dad Bug and her brother Hunter in a squat in North Kent. Big up North Kent, that's where I live. Bug doesn't have much time for his kids, and Bailey, who is approaching puberty, seeks attention and adventure elsewhere. So yeah, very, very excited for this one. I actually cancelled my movie subscription a couple of months ago because I felt I wasn't watching enough, but I will definitely be firing it up to watch this, and I will earmark a few other films that I should definitely watch for a month or so too. So next up is Red One. It's being released in cinemas, and here's a little synopsis. After Santa Claus, quote unquote codename Red One, is kidnapped, the North Pole's head of security must team up with the world's most infamous bounty hunter in a globe-trotting, action-packed mission to save Christmas. The film has a great cast of Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, J.K. Simmons again, Lucy Liu, Kiernan Shipka, and Bonnie Hunt. But I'd be lying if I said this was a film I'm dying to see. I probably will go and see it at the cinema at some point, but I won't be like rushing there. It looks fine. It looks like, it's a Christmas film. It just doesn't look like a film that I'm absolutely dying to see. But that's fine. You don't have to go and watch every film that comes out just because you've got a cinema membership, Hannah. So on the 13th of November, we've got one film coming out, and it's coming to Netflix. I believe it does also have a very limited cinema release, but if it's coming to Netflix, I may as well just tell you that date. So that film is Emilia Perez, and it's a unique musical comedy about Rita, who is an underrated lawyer working for a large law firm, more interested in getting criminals out of jail than bringing them to justice. She's hired by the leader of a criminal organisation, and things happen. I actually saw Zoe Saldana and Selena Gomez promoting this on Graham Norton and thought it looked really great. It's directed by Jacques Audiard. No, I'm not familiar with any of their previous work, but yeah, this looks really good, and I'm seeing a lot of people say like definite Oscar buzz for Selena. It's currently rated 3.6 on letterboxd. I'm guessing it's been released in other countries first because it's been logged by 40,000 letterboxd members, so it's looking to be very good. I'm very excited about that one. Okay, now we're moving on to the 15th of November, where we've got Gladiator 2 coming out and Christmas Eve in Miller's Point. So Gladiator. Years after witnessing the death of the revered hero Maximus at the hands of his uncle, Lucius is forced to enter the Colosseum after his home is conquered by the tyrannical emperors who now lead Rome with an iron fist. With rage in his heart and the future of the empire at stake, Lucius must look to his past to find strength and honour to return the glory of Rome to its people. It looks like it's going to be a very, very good sequel to the first film, and I would think it may potentially surpass the first film also. It's Ridley Scott is at the helm again directing. It's starring Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, I believe, is in it as well. Denzel Washington, like the cast is stunning. It looks like it's going to be great. I'm very excited for this one. And then also on that same day, we've got Christmas Eve in Miller's Point. I am not 100% sure where that's being released yet. I don't think it's not giving cinema release in my head, but I will have it written somewhere on screen where you can watch this. So the film is about a rambunctious extended family who descend on their small Long Island hometown for the holidays, where hijinks, generational squabbles, and family traditions ensue. It stars Michael Cera and Francesca Scorsese, and it just looks like a nice little wholesome Christmas film. I'm excited for this one. So yeah. On the 22nd of November, we have got Wicked. Do I even need to give Wicked an introduction? This Wicked film has been in the works for so long. I remember I went to go and see Wicked in 2018 and on the West End. And on the train home, I was Googling about it and it said a Wicked film is in the works. Well, my God, did it take a long time to get that done. I'm very excited for it. I'm sick to death of seeing the trailer, though, to be honest. I'm very glad that it's out soon, so I don't have to sit through the trailer anymore. But if you have been living under a rock and are not familiar with the story of Wicked, it's about Elphaba, who is an ostracised but defiant girl born, born with green skin, and Glinda, a privileged aristocrat born popular, become extremely unlikely friends in the magical land of Oz. As the two girls struggle with their opposing personalities, their friendship is tested as both begin to fulfill their destinies as Glinda the Good Witch and the Wicked Witch of the West. And it's actually the first of a two-part adaptation of the Broadway musical. It stars lots of people. It stars Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande as those two main characters. But it also stars Michelle Yeoh, Jeff Goldblum, Jonathan Bailey. I'm just getting it up to see if I'm missing anyone. No, those are the key people in it. But yeah, very excited for it. The trailer's interesting though because it doesn't give musical necessarily. So if anyone has been living under a rock and are going to watch it and are not aware that it's a musical, that would be very amusing. So the next 3 films coming out on the 22nd are The Piano Lesson, which is coming to Netflix, Layla, which is coming to Curzon, and Joy, which is coming to Netflix. So The Piano Lesson is about a brother and sister's battle over a prized heirloom piano unleashes haunting truths about how the past is perceived and who defines a family legacy. And it has Samuel L. Jackson in it and a couple of other people who won't. It's directed by Malcolm Washington, who is Denzel Washington's son. I thought he might be, yeah. And it also stars John David Washington, who is his brother, Denzel's son also. So that's very interesting. It just looks like an interesting film for sure. I will be checking that out on Netflix. Next is the film Layla, and it's about Layla, who is a struggling Arab drag queen who falls in love for the first time. They lose and find themselves in a transformative relationship that tests who they really are. Again, this just sounded really interesting. And yeah, it's been released by Curzon. I'm not sure if it's getting a Curzon cinema release or just through the Curzon app. But it sounds good and I'm intrigued by it, definitely. So I will attempt to watch that if I can. Last film on that date is Joy. And no, it's not the film with Jennifer Lawrence from years gone by. It's a very interesting story, though. It's based on a true story, and it's about 3 trailblazers: a young nurse, a visionary scientist, and an innovative surgeon face opposition from the church, state, media, and medical establishment in their pursuit for the world's first test tube baby, Louise Joy Brown. So, yeah, interesting story about the world's first test tube baby. So I'm very intrigued to watch that. I don't remember where that's being released. Potentially a theatrical release. But that stars Bill Nighy, James Norton, Thomasin McKenzie. So yeah, a nice little lineup. Thomasin McKenzie was great in The Last Night in Soho. And who's it directed by? Ben Taylor, who doesn't appear to have done too much else. So yeah, intrigued by that one. And then the last film, which comes out on the 29th, is Moana 2. And I would be lying if I told you I've seen Moana 1. I am not massively au fait with keeping up with what Disney and Pixar put out but I will try and watch Moana 1 so that I can get to the cinema and watch Moana 2, because I just like to make the use of my cinema membership. The plot of Moana 2 is after receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana journeys alongside Maui and new crew to the far seas of Oceania and into dangerous, long-lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. So, sounds like a Disney film, doesn't it? But yeah, they're very well loved, so I shall endeavour to watch it. And the second film out on that day is Conclave. I hate the trailer for Conclave. It's giving very, very boring in my eyes, but I'm seeing letterboxd reviews coming in and it's sitting at a 3.8 right now, so that's pretty good. I will give it a go for sure. So Conclave is about Cardinal Lawrence, who is tasked with leading one of the world's most secretive and ancient events, selecting a new pope. Once the Catholic Church's most powerful leaders have gathered around the world and are locked together in the Vatican halls, Lawrence finds himself at the centre of a conspiracy and discovers a secret that could shake the very foundation of the church. So it sounds more interesting than what the trailer gives off. The trailer just, I was so bored, I can't even tell you. But it stars Ralph Fiennes and Stanley Tucci, or the Tooch as we call him in my house, and John Lithgow and Isabella Rossellini, directed by Edward Berger, who directed All Is Quiet on the Western Front. So I think it has all the makings of being a very good film, so I will definitely be partaking in that and going to see that at the cinema. And yeah, that is everything that's coming out in November 2024. Actually, it's not everything. I'm sure there's loads of other stuff, but those are the few that I chose to share with you that I found. So yeah, let me know what you're most looking forward to. I'll update you at the beginning of next month and we can talk about everything that we watched. So that'll be fun. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next week for another Film Friday. Bye.